Today we will understand about the top 5 real estate investment trusts which are REITs in Indian markets. So today I will share the professional framework we use to evaluate REITs so you can build a real long-term wealth. First part is the illusion of the starting yield. Basically you can understand it as, let's talk about the dividend trap. थिंक अबाउट योर सैलरी. अगर आपका एम्प्लॉयर आपको ऑप्शन दे, यू कैन गेट एवरी मंथ 1 लाख रुपीज़ फिक्स इनकम, फिक्स सैलरी फॉर एवर, या फिर यू गेट 80,000 टुडे बट विथ 10% इंक्रीमेंट एवरी सिंगल ईयर. सो आप क्या चूज़ करोगे? नेचुरली यू वुड चूज़ 80,000 बिकॉज ऑफ ग्रोथ. डिविडेंड्स में भी वही लॉजिक है. Reason because groceries, school fees and electricity bills are going up, right? If your investment income doesn't grow, inflation is quietly eating it away. So we look for REITs that grow their payouts over time. Not just they look good on paper, but they are also actually beating the inflation and making money for on our investments. Now there are two keys. Okay, now two keys example I will give you. So investing in REITs is not just buying a stock or a ticker, right? It is you are buying a real building with real tenants. So imagine someone puts two keys on the table, where building A is 98% full. It's occupied with tenants like Google, Amazon, JP Morgan, who have signed a 10-year lease. They have signed, right? And versus there is a building B has empty floors. There are retail tenants and tenants who keep leaving. So which one would you pick? Obviously you would pick the first one, right? So in a professional world, we look for GCCs, which are global capability centers. Now what are GCCs? As I mentioned, MNCs companies like Google, Amazon, Pfizer. For Indian it's like Tata, TCS or Reliance, all. Okay, so they sign at least minimum 10 to 15 years or 20 years of lease contract. So basically we look for that kind of tenants, right? Now for example, just to make you understand, knowledge REITs, this knowledge REITs have 450 tenants and 45% 450 tenants, out of which 45% of its tenants incomes come from this GCCs. Now knowledge REIT is new in the market. Okay, so that tenant, they focus, as they are new, they have focused mostly on the GCC tenants. Okay, so these are long-term strategic bets by global giants and they don't leave easily. This is your safety net, basically looking for GCC tenants mostly. Okay, so now we understand it with apartment example. Okay, so I will explain you what is mark to market. So here is a professional secret called mark to market. Now what is mark to market? Suppose आपका flat 25,000 रेंट पर है, ओके, इन अ बिल्डिंग, पर बिल्डिंग में जो बाकी फ्लैट्स है, सेकेंड फ्लोर, थर्ड फ्लोर और एनी अदर फ्लोर पे, वो 35,000 में है. सो व्हाट विल यू डू? वंस योर लीज आपका ख़त्म हो जाएगा, इट विल एक्सपायर, यू विल ऑब्वियसली इंक्रीज द रेंट for the next contract, right? So same is the problem with Indian REITs. So currently many Indian REITs like Mindspace, Knowledge REITs are currently collecting rents below their market rates. Okay, they are collecting below their market rates. This means as their old lease will expire, their income will significantly grow without even buying a new building. So similarly, if you have one room and you are selling it for renting it for 25,000, right? So next year once your contract expires, you do not have to buy another room to increase your income, right? You just have to increase the rent. So similarly that happens with this kind of REITs, where these companies focus on this GCC tenants. So as I mentioned, these GCC tenants, MNC companies, have long term yields for 10-year, 20 years. Okay, so once that 10-year, 20-year lease expires, so between these years, what happened? Market picked up, the overall market picked up, and the rents of other buildings have increased. So naturally, once the contract will get renewed, it will get renewed on the mark to market, which is the new rent, right? So this is an additional income which helps this Mindspace, knowledge REIT, embassy REIT, Brookfield, right, these REITs, to increase the income without doing any expenditure or without buying any new properties. Similarly, they have another option, which is, suppose they have this total whole area, right? I will mark it in blue. No, I will mark it in red. Okay, so they have this total area, right? And they have this one building standing. So they have these empty areas. If they feel that they need to build another building, they already have the approvals and all. They just have to build this one building, and for that also they already get a, like, pre-sale customers, okay, like GCCs. So once the building is ready, they do not have to find new customers. They already have the customer. They just have to give it on rent. Okay, so these are the two options for them to increase their income and basically increase the shareholders income without doing any additional expenditure. So yeah, we were on this slide. So similarly, I have given the example for this another same slide if you want to understand. Okay, so now we will talk about the top 5 players of the Indian markets, okay, which are in the REITs. Okay, so on the first we have Mindspace. So Mindspace is a consistent player. Basically it means it has steadily increased. They have a long track record of distribution, like giving the dividends of the rental income, basically, which they come from 19 rupees to 24 rupees. They have increased every year, okay, and has a strong pipeline of new construction and data centers, basically. So they are investing in building more, and they are also giving a consistently they are paying dividends, and they are increasing on year basis. Okay, then we have Embassy is a scale player. It is a largest and the oldest office REIT in India, and it is international player also, first of all, with a proven track record through multiple cycles. As they are international, so they are not they are new in India, basically, compared to the international markets. So they have seen many cycles, and they have a good experience personnel to handle all the operations, and the team is very like, what do I mention, not just experience, but they have gone through cycles, okay, cycles of the market, where 2008 crisis is there of the real estate market, right? So that kind of crisis they have already seen. Okay, then we have Brookfield. They are disciplined players. Now when I mention discipline, what I mean is they play very safe. They are boring, they are stable, they have very clean balance sheet, and are very conservative approach. So once you get conservative, once you get boring, you sorry, obviously the payout you pay, the payout you give, the dividends you give to your investors is less. So here, if you expect at 9%, so here you will expect 7. Okay, because this, they play safe. So obviously once you play safe, you do not take higher risks, and when you do not take higher risks, your dividend, your income, your payout obviously gets lower compared to someone who is taking higher risks, right? Then we have Nexus Select Trust. Okay, now this is a consumption play. This player is completely different from other players, because these 4 players are focused on GCC tenants. These 4 players are focused on corporates. So basically they look for offices and all, but this Nexus, they look for Indian consumption market. Okay, if so, they look for retail expenditure. They look for how much Indians spend on shopping and entertainments, because they invest in sorry, they invest in malls, they invest in big retail malls, or like the Phoenix type, right? So they invest in that. I'm not getting the word what to say. Okay, so basically you understood. So this is a complete different player. Okay, and knowledge rates is, they have, as I mentioned, they have 45% of the tenants as GCC. Okay, this is global players, MNCs. They have 45% of the tenants, and currently they are new, so we cannot talk much on it because they do not have a track record. But whatever track record they have, it is good, and they are promising player in the market. Okay, so we have to look for them also. Similarly, I have explained everything here. So sorry, you can read if you want the details here. Now what I want to highlight is commitment occupancy is 90%. So basically, this kind of REITs, see, embassy REITs and this Mindspace, already they have tenants, so they do not have to go out and find tenants. Okay, so they already have the occupancy rate, which is 93%, 95%. Above 90% is good, very good actually, above 90%. Okay, and these are all mostly 20 to 30 45% GCC clients, so they do not have to worry for next 5-10 years. But yes, the rentals are fixed today, not for the tomorrow price. So obviously, if tomorrow the rental increases, they have to wait for the contract to expire, and then once the another contract renewal happens, so they will obviously increase the rents. Okay, so now there is another part also, which is called taxation. Okay, so taxation, you have to obviously, you cannot we cannot actually give a specific, like we have LTG and STG, right? 12% and 12.5% and 20%. So here taxation is a mix of, because lastly there basically REITs payout are mix of interest earned on the investment, dividends which we get as a rental yields. Okay, and repayment of capital. So basically they, if the capital is unused, they also repay the capital. So each is taxed differently, and it can be very confusing for individuals, for investors to track the taxation part, so which is confusing. So we will bring a video for how to do taxation part on this. And lastly, I have given, like, for this 4 REITs, because knowledge trust was new, so I have given for this breakdown for this 4. If you are looking for safety, if you are looking for massive scale and proven history, a long term player, international player, you can go for embassy REITs. If you are looking for consistently and year on year increase on your dividend, okay, so you can look for Mindspace. If you are looking for financial discipline, tax efficiency, safe playing, conservative playing, then you can go for Brookfield. And if you are looking to bypass the office real estate, which I mentioned, the corporates and all GCC clients, basically, if you want to bet on Indian consumption, if you want to bet on malls, if you want to bet on shopping habits of Indian, you think that Indian will spend more in the coming years, and you want to bet on that, then you can go for Nexus Real. Okay, and lastly, see, REITs are not something that you can do it yourself, first of all, because there is taxation, there is mark to market, and every REIT which you select has to be I'm not getting the words, has to be learned in detail, and do to be researched in detail, and then accordingly you have to invest. So similarly, we also provide our investors this investment opportunities, and do the analysis for them and help them in their investing. So obviously, if you have anything, something mind of investing, so you can connect with us. Thank you.